Today's Q&A is about Shemittah wine, and the question is that I saw a kosher wine from Israel from the year 2022, which was a Shemittah year, and am I allowed to drink that wine or not? So during Shemittah, there are foods that are distributed using an Oitzer Bezdin system, where basically a Bezdin represents the consumers by collecting the produce from the field. The fields are hefker, no one used them, so Bezdin sends people to collect the fields. They bring it to the places where people can use it, and they give it out for free. Now, the word free is not exactly correct because they're allowed to charge for the services like the delivery and the packaging and things like that. And they may actually even hire the farmer from that field to do that work, so he makes a little money. But there's no charge for the actual food itself. And assuming Oitzer Bezdin is done correctly, perfect. That's great, and that's everything's wonderful. Now, food from Oitzer Bezdin is Shemitah produce, so it has Kedusha Shvius, so you can't waste it, you can't buy and sell it, you can't take it out of Yisrael, and other rules like that. And the question is, what happens when the time of beer arrives? Which means, well, what's beer? Beer is that when, at a certain point, when there's no more of a specific fruit like oranges or apples or whatever it is in the field, then people have to take whatever they have in their homes, whatever of the hefker fruits that they have in their homes, and make it available for everybody else. They can take a little bit, but basically they have to make the bulk of it hefker to other people. And that's a process called beer. Many hold that anything that's part of the Oitzer Bezdin system does not require a formal beer because it already is set up for people. It is basically hefker for people to take. The Bezdin is just representing everybody by taking the apples or the grapes or the wine or whatever it is and making it most available to people, taking it from the fields to the market or to the cities where people could use it. So that's why the wine made with Oitzer Bezdin, most are of the opinion, does not need a formal beer. So the beer is taken care of. Now, what about, is there Kedusha Shvius after the beer time? So there are a lot who hold that after beer is done, there's no more Kedusha Shvius to the fruit or the wine made from it. And the wine that this person saw that was sold with Oitzer Bezdin Shemittah wine is obviously accepting that opinion, because since beer passes, for wine that's Pesach the year after Shemitah. Once beer passed and the Oitzer Bezdin, as we said, is like an automatic beer, then they could export it from Eretz Yisrael. They could buy and sell like regular stuff, and they could also sell it on the open market, meaning to people who will not be careful with Kedusha Shvius. So that's this wine that you saw that's made from Oitzer Bezdin from Shemitah is making that assumption. But others hold that there's Kedusha Shvius even after beer, and therefore they would not be allowed to export it or just sell it on the market just to random people who might not be careful with it. Now, the Chazon Ish has different psakim about this shaila. When the Chazon Ish, but in the end, when the Chazon Ish writes his instructions for consumers, not like complicated halachic back and forths, but when he wrote just final instructions, he said you should be machmer on this question and assume there's Kedusha Shvius even after beer is done, and therefore most hashkachas will not allow Oitzer Bezdin wine to be sold in Chutz Aretz or to be sold to people who won't care about Kedusha Shvius. So, if you have this wine that was sold that is Oitzer Bezdin and was sold but is being sold after the time of beer, which is now it's after the time of beer, then you can drink the wine, but you should drink it with Kedusha Shvius. That's because it is kosher. It assumed it's as if it had beer done to it, but it does have Kedusha Shvius, so you have to use it in the best way. I mean, let's say in a wine that would be to drink rather than to cook with it. You can't waste it, and etc. And find out what it means to eat something with Kedusha Shvius. Now, I'll just throw in here that there are wines that are made in Shemitah that are not from Oitzer Bezdin, and that's because they rely on the Heter Mechira. So, if you don't hold to the Heter Mechira, then the wine would theoretically be okay to drink, as long as you drink it with Kedusha Shvius. However, once the time of beer comes, then that wine needed beer, which was Pesach of 2023. It needed beer, and since beer was not done, because again they thought that it didn't have anything rules to it, the wine would become usher. Now that beer was not done, so that would be a reason why that wine would not be allowed to be eaten.